A while back, I made a video about the Switch 2 and all the major upgrades that I would want for it. Things like up to 4K possibility when docked and then a 1080p portable screen. The first analog triggers on a Nintendo console since the friggin' GameCube, and even for them to just call it the Super Switch, because I still think that's an awesome name. But this time I want to talk about some smaller ideas and smaller features that I want for it. And no, I do not mean gimmicks. I mean, here's the thing. Whether something is a gimmick or an innovation, you never know until you try. And I don't even think success is an indicator. The N64 was not one of Nintendo's biggest successes financially, but it was one of their biggest innovations, the first 3D game console, and the thumbstick, which was a major innovation that is still being used on game controllers across all platforms. Compare that with the Wii. The Wii was one of Nintendo's biggest successes, but motion controls, they're still around today, but are they as prominent and necessary and become an industry standard as much as the thumbstick? So it's a very fine line between gimmick and innovation, and you never really know until you try and see what happens, see what's successful, and see what sticks around. And Nintendo is always experimenting. So are they gonna come out with a gimmick for the Switch 2? It might have something or a few things new to surprise us, but overall, according to them and according to all the leaks, and we're gonna find out soon enough, the Switch 2 is just gonna be a bigger, better Switch. They probably and hopefully did not spend so much R&D money thinking up some major new feature for the Switch 2. Instead, they poured all that money into just making a bigger, better, more powerful Switch. There are a few weird things they could possibly do, such as the scroll wheel. I've heard a few rumors about this, and honestly, I would love it, especially if more games are gonna be using the whole Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, long line of items you have to scroll through each time to pick one. Easily the most annoying, time-consuming things about those games, and if they're gonna appear in more Zelda games and potentially more franchises for whatever reason, a scroll wheel would really solve that problem. Then there's other weird peripheral ideas like Labo. Maybe they'll do something weird like Labo for the Switch 2. Dual screens. Because I have a theory about how NSO is gonna go down. They're gonna continue NSO for the Switch 2, and who knows, maybe longer after that. They have the first tier for $20, NES, SNES, and Game Boy. Then the next tier is $50 with Game Boy Advance, N64, and I'm predicting eventually GameCube. For all the GameCube titles they want to re-release but not do full remasters and remakes like they have with a lot of ones we've been getting. And then, exclusive to the Switch 2 is the inevitable $80 tier, which will have Wii games, Wii U games, and DS games, maybe even 3DS games. But without completely reworked ports, remasters, and remakes, how can you play dual screen games from the Wii U, DS, and 3DS on something like the Switch? Here's where another theory comes in. The Switch 2 has leaked to apparently have an entirely new button on the Joy-Cons, the C button. Now, does the C even stand for something that starts with the letter C? Or is it just like, you know, they have XYZ buttons, so now they'll have the ABC buttons. Maybe it's just a lettering convention. And there's been predictions that it stands for camera. But I don't think they're gonna waste money installing that, because who needs it? Everyone who has a Switch probably also has a smartphone. Chances are, if you're gonna take a picture of something and both of those have cameras, you're still gonna go for the smartphone, because it probably even has a way better camera. Another theory people have been having is chat. But I don't even think that's likely. Maybe it's a mystery button. Imagine the dock for the Switch 2 is not the only way to connect it to the TV, but you can also do it wirelessly via Bluetooth or whatever they're gonna have. You just press the C button and then it connects to the dock wirelessly and displays it on whatever TV that dock is connected to. That way you're still holding the Switch itself portably but playing on the TV. And that means the screen on the Switch itself can possibly be used as a second screen, making Wii U, DS, and 3DS games possible to play on NSO. But even then, that brings up the question of what do you do if you want to play those games either fully portable or fully on the TV? That's why I don't even think this whole idea of using a cast function to bring back dual screen gaming is gonna happen. And honestly, I'm fine with that because I don't really like dual screen gaming. I never really got into it when that was Nintendo's big thing. So none of these gimmicks are the features that I am talking about. Really, I'm talking about small, super basic stuff that really should have been on the Switch 1. I am talking about a web browser. I know, same thing with the camera. If you have a smartphone, you'd probably just use that, but sometimes I actually do wish I had a browser to use on my Switch. And even more importantly than a browser, more streaming services. 8 years and we seriously still only have Hulu and a YouTube app? First of all, I should be able to just go to YouTube from the browser that I just mentioned, but still, only Hulu? Not even Netflix? When the Switch 2 came out, I don't even know if most of these streaming services were happening, but now we have HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Peacock, even Crunchyroll should have been on there from the beginning. I don't even use any of these anymore, so I'm not even going to be using these if they're on the Switch 2, but they should still definitely be on there. I mean, I love the idea that they're just focusing on games and this is nothing but an amazing game machine. You can play on the TV or portable. But still, I wish they would take a little bit more effort to make it a better multimedia machine like the PS5 or the Xbox. And that leads me to one thing that I would definitely want and use for the Switch 2, USB flash drive capabilities. I don't have streaming services anymore because I just have external hard drives full of a lifetime of entertainment. Now what I usually do is just take them from the external hard drive, put them on a flash drive, and then put the flash drive either directly on my TV or to my PS5. Why can't I also plug it into the Switch? The Switch 2 should be able to read a USB flash drive and just play whatever media is on there. And you know what else would be super appreciated and loved by just about every fan who's bought a Switch and thought, why the fuck does it not have this? Even the PS5 doesn't have this. Why can you only sort the game library through alphabetical or most recently played or biggest file size or whatever? You give me all these different options except for the option to just customize it yourself. List it however you want. Just let me do that. Like on the 3DS homepage, you could just make the icons bigger or smaller. You could arrange them in any way you want. Bring that back. And then, I don't know, what else is there? A better eShop, I guess? Be just a little bit more strict about how many hentai games you allow on there. I'm not saying get rid of all of them, but be a little bit more scrutinizing. And that's honestly all I can think of, because the Switch is like a perfect idea for a console, and it just needs a few more modern features. And those are all the ones that are important to me that I could think of. But what about you? Hit the like button, sub to the channel, and let me know in the comments what features, big or small, you want for the Switch 2.